Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today, I wanted to cover an old Japanese video game called Onimusha Warlords. Video games are a very large industry, and one that we can't ignore. Most games nowadays are becoming increasingly woke, and most people are fed up of it. Thanks to all of the resources out there for making games, this makes it the perfect time to begin making proper games once again. So hopefully, by showcasing some good games of old and criticizing them, I might be able to inspire some ideas. So without further ado, let's get into it. The game in question is Onimusha 1, released back in 2001 by Capcom for the PlayStation 2. It became one of the fastest selling games of its time, and it's easy to see why. The game has stunning visuals which still hold up today, incredible accompanying music, the gameplay is quite enjoyable, and the story, albeit simple, is effective for this kind of hack and slash adventure. In fact, the worst thing about this game is that it is incredibly short, especially when compared to modern titles. Any casual gamer would be able to finish this title in about 3 to 4 hours, but it is well worth the experience. The game also has to be commended on the variety of enemies that are faced throughout, its fighting mechanics, and satisfying fights with enemies. So let's delve deeper into the game, beginning with the plot. The story takes place during the Sengoku period in Japan, also known as the Age of Warring States. The game opens in 1560, with our main protagonist Samanosuke Akechi witnessing the famed Battle of Okihazama, where one of the great unifiers of Japan, Nobunaga Oda, bested Yoshimoto Imagawa despite being greatly outnumbered. We also deviate immediately from historical events, as an arrow is seen piercing Nobunaga's throat, fatally wounding him and thus presumed dead. A year later, Samanosuke receives a letter from his cousin Princess Yuki of the Saito clan, about strange occurrences in Inabayama Castle. She suspects that monsters are behind it all, and urges him to come visit her before she is taken by these monsters. Samanosuke, accompanied by his trusted assistant Kaede, races to Inabayama Castle, but arrives too late and the princess is already gone. Samanosuke then embarks on a journey to rescue the princess and quickly encounters the demons that she spoke of.
Worthless bug! Useless! Pitiful humans! Princess!
Realizing that he was too weak to face the demons in his current state, he is visited by the 12 Oni of the Oni clan, who then grant him the power to kill the demons and seal their souls within a gauntlet on his right hand.
Destroy all the demons!
So, fortune has smiled upon me this day. With the power of this gauntlet, I will destroy all of those monsters and save the princess!
The game continues from there, where Samanosuke must now delve deeper and deeper into the demon world in pursuit of the princess, and also uncover a large demonic plot to take over Japan using the fallen Nobunaga as their spearhead. The game's setting is amazing. We begin by exiting the keep in the human world and traveling some distance during sunset. For most of the beginning, there isn't any music, just an interesting ambience. Then, we enter into the demon world via a cave. There's also a subplot through various scrolls that are picked up throughout the campaign that tell of a monk and his master, who also braved the demon world in an attempt to learn more about it. The story is actually quite interesting. And for those of you who have played many Resident Evil games before, you might find that the menu systems and animations are quite similar, and you would be right in saying so. Onimusha was based off the Resident Evil system, but they wanted to create a Japanese version of the game set in the Sengoku period. But the aesthetic and look of both the scrolls and the settings that we find ourselves in are truly spectacular. It genuinely feels as if we have left the human world and are now in a demonic territory. We also begin to find elementally attuned weapons that we can use to fight demons. The game quickly leads us into our first boss fight against the demon that overpowered Samanosuke previously.
Huh?
Didn't know humans could be such pests!
Where is the princess?
Humans are more tasty when angry, and I haven't eaten in a while. How could I die? By the hand of a human!
Be quiet, monster. It is time for you to go back to the underworld.
From there, we also meet a demon scientist, who tells Samanosuke that they have resurrected Nobunaga and that he had made a pact with the demons. This is another twist on history, as Nobunaga Oda was coined the Demon Lord after burning down a temple with worshippers inside. He did this in order to quell the Buddhist rebellion to his unification of Japan, as he saw them as a hindrance to his conquest. Nevertheless, in the game, he is now becoming a literal Demon Lord, as he now has the strength of the demons behind him. Armed with the fire weapon, we can now enter the castle and continue looking for the princess. There we find a man known as Tokichiro Kinoshita, who will later become Hideyoshi Hashiba, another of the great unifiers of Japan. He succeeds Nobunaga after Nobunaga's defeat at Honnoji Temple. According to the history books, Nobunaga's general, Mitsuhide Akechi, defected and set the temple aflame, and Nobunaga committed seppuku rather than be taken by the flames. No reason has been given as to why Mitsuhide decided to defect, and is a topic much debated by historians. Nevertheless, we learn that the boy in the scene is Yumemaru, the son of a farmer that Princess Yuki took into the castle to raise as her own brother. The boy then snuck into the castle in an attempt to find and rescue her, but he is taken by the enemy. Samanosuke then battles his way through, and eventually rescues Yumemaru from the demon general Marcellus. Samanosuke then tells Yumimaru about the world. The dialogue here is very simple, and indeed, Samanosuke simplifies the entirety of the Sengoku period to people squabbling over portions of land. But Nobunaga's ambitions were much more than that. Prior to the Sengoku period, Japan had become heavily balkanized, and so Nobunaga wished to bring back a unification of Japan, which he succeeds in doing, thanks to the assistance of his successors Hideyoshi Yoshiba and Ieyasu Tokugawa. Nevertheless, the game does away with the history lesson altogether, and Samanosuke and Kaede are tricked by the demons with the presence of this false princess.
You alright? Kaede, we have little time. I have to find Princess Yuki. You watch over these two.
I will.
Samanosuke is then captured and Kaede is rendered unconscious, so that they could kidnap Yumimaru to perform what they term the Dark Ceremony.
What are you doing? Let go of me! Samanosuke?
Samanosuke is finally given a glimpse of the gate to the demon realm, but a barrier stone blocks his path. He then seeks out a powerful artifact to dispel the barrier and enters truly into the sacred realm of the demons. It's interesting to note that the demons here are also highly intelligent. There is a book that can be found in the game that shows the hierarchy amongst them, and also speaks about the Demon King Fortinbras. Now, I don't think there's any relation to the Fortinbras in the Shakespearean play Hamlet, although the demon scientist is named Guildenstern, which is another character from the play. The game's musical score is also really wonderful. There are several themes that play throughout the campaign. music is often credited to Mamoru Samuragochi. However, he did not in fact write the music. It was composed by Takashi Nigaki, though all of the credit was taken by Mamoru. This led to the music being changed in its remastered version, but the original is far better. Before I show the ending to the game, there is a survival within the game that is quite challenging, as you have to survive 20 waves of enemies, and at the end you're rewarded with an ocarina that can be used to unlock the most powerful weapon in the game later on.
What?
How dare you! A mere human mock me? Fine then. It's time for you to fight my greatest creation! Come, monsters! You monsters!
Stop! Even if I die, I will destroy you!
Overall, the game is quite great. It may be short and the story may be rather simple, but it makes up for it in music, setting and gameplay. Another complaint is that the bosses in the game are quite easy to beat. You'll probably notice in my gameplay that I don't spam the magic attacks, which make the boss fights considerably easier. And in the final boss, I stopped attacking him here so that we can see what he can do. I also wanted to die to show that mechanic, which is why I purposefully didn't heal during this fight. Still, I'd highly recommend this game if you are looking for inspiration for a game of your own. Its successors, Onimusha's 2, 3, and Dawn of Dreams, decrease in quality as you progress. Onimusha 2 is still fun to play, and has the advantage of being much longer than Onimusha 1, but the story devolves into a soap opera, which is hard to sit through sometimes.
Do you think you're equal to one from the demon class?
Not equal. Better.
You amuse me, man. I will enjoy killing you.
Onimusha 3 became vastly different as they moved away from the original art style, which I think was a mistake, as the game looks closer to what one would picture early game graphics to look like. And Dawn of Dreams fully abandons the classic feel of Onimusha entirely, and instead opts for a largely arcadey version of the game. If you'd like to see more video game reviews, do check out American Crogun over on Odyssey. I hope this has encouraged some to check the game out, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.